Hello, wonderful people. Carrie here, and I'm going to be providing you some information about the help I need for VBS this year. VBS is running Sunday through Wednesday, June 9 through 12, from 6 to 8 p.m. And I'm super excited about it. It's the first VBS that our church has ever done, but it's not going to happen unless I have volunteers. So I wanted to provide you some information about the types of volunteers I need to see if you might be interested in taking any of these spots. As I'm talking through these specific things and you have questions, concerns, please come chat with me. We'll figure out how you can best help us with VBS. As we're getting closer, there may even be things that come up that I'm like, I didn't even realize I needed somebody for that, but now I realize it. So this is not an exhaustive list, but it is definitely a place to get us started to see who may be able to help out during the week. We specifically did it for 4 days for 2 hours this year, since it is kind of getting our feet wet. It is the first time we've done it. The actual program we're using is made for 5 days for 3 hours. So some of these roles, whenever you are thinking about taking them on, really will need some ownership, some really good communication between you and I to see what works best for 4 days and 2 hours. But I feel like I'm pretty good at supporting people, so I'll support you through all of those steps and all of those things. All right, so let's talk about what I need when it comes to volunteers. So with VBS, we need crew leaders, and crew leaders are similar to the helpers that we have on Sunday mornings in Good News Kids. Crew leaders are not really teaching anything. They're not really prepping anything. They are really those extra hands, helping the kids feel involved, keeping them participating, watching that behavior a little bit, making sure that they're being kind. You are there to support whoever is then teaching in the session that you're in. Sometimes you'll be a little bit more hands-on than others. For example, there is one day in one of the sessions where you will sit with your group and discuss, a time where God really provided for you like he did for the Israelites. Okay, so there's some discussion there. You might have to give a real life example from your own life or help the kids come up with ideas as they're sitting in their little huddle together. So there's definitely some communication and things like that going on with the crew leader, but it's less when it comes to the amount of time prepping and preparing. Crew leaders are super important. We are going to need a whole bunch of them. I'm hoping to keep our crew numbers at 6 kids, no more than that. And so that means we'll have quite a few crews, but that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, but I do need a lot of them. All right, now the next type of leaders I need are the station leaders. Our kids will kind of rotate through the 2 hours to different places to engage in different activities that really bring the Bible story alive and help them to really understand it and internalize it. Now, our curriculum is called ROAR, Life is Wild, God is Good. And so a lot of what we will be talking about is, when life is sad, when life is hard, when life is good. Anytime, whatever's happening in life, God is good. And with that, those ideas, we have specific stations and activities. So the first is the sing and play roar. That is the very first thing kids do. It's high energy. You are worshiping with the kids. You're introducing them to the story. You are welcoming them. You're getting them excited for that night's session of VBS. I already have one person that is super excited and interested in doing this role, but we need more. We need there to be several leaders up there, and you guys would work together then to really make that an exciting time. These volunteers could also, and makes sense, but doesn't have to be, the volunteers at the end for the safari celebration. And that's where you're wrapping things up. You're giving kids a final thought for that day's story, and you're worshiping one more time, and you're just kind of bringing it all home before they head back home. Then we have the Wild Bible Adventures, and this is where students actually hear the Bible story. And it's not a video like we use on Sundays. It's not just you reading from the Bible and telling them the story. It is a interactive storytelling session. So for example, 2 days of that week, we not only need the leader of the session, but we also need someone to play the part of Pharaoh. And the kids will actually be, throwing hail balls, which is one of the plagues that was put on Pharaoh and his people, at Pharaoh. So it's super interactive and super exciting. I think on the first day, the kids make bricks like the Egyptian slaves did. So just a really cool interactive way to learn the story. So this one's really high energy as well. Really, they all are. Let's be honest, kids take energy. But that one's really fun because you are really getting those kids to learn that Bible story. Next, we have Imagination Station. Imagination Station is a science center. Kids will be doing science experiments that go along with that day's lesson. Super fun. This one involves quite a few supplies. And if you are the leader of these groups, I'm going to encourage you to take ownership of the supplies. I'm here to support you. I know that the ladies who help us with Good News Kids supplies will be happy to support you, let you know what we have. You could ask one of them. But really, you're going to take ownership of these stations. So think about that too. Then we have Stampede Sports. Stampede Sports is a physical activity station. The kids will be doing relays, playing games, all kinds of fun things to help them have a physical activity to go along with the Bible story. Now, these two stations will be every other day. So science, sports, or whatever I decide the actual schedule. So this is something that one person could do both of these. And just switch every other day. I could have a leader of science, a leader of sports, and so you would really only be on for 2 of the 4 nights. It can look a lot of different ways, but if you're interested in science or love that physical activity side, these may be the stations for you. The next one is Hungry Herd Cafe, and this is snack. We don't want hungry children, so we're having a snack station. But with VBS, everything is purposeful, even the snack. So our snack person will have quite a bit of prep to get ready and have those snacks ready for the kids. But these snacks are kind of like packets. And when the kids come in, they make their own snack with the packet of things they have. And it goes along, again, purposeful, with the Bible story. So I have someone who has said that they would lead this, but we need lots of helpers for this one. So if that interests you, and again, it's a lot of like upfront prepping, buying of supplies, which will definitely be reimbursed by the church, but gathering those supplies, putting them together. And then during the session, there are things that you would be leading to help them connect. Why are we making a bug out of pretzels and strawberries and chocolate chips? So always purposeful. The last one that I need when it comes to station leaders is the preschool directors. So our 3, 4, and 5-year-olds not yet in kindergarten, will have kind of their own place. So they will join us at the beginning to make the beginning really fun for them. They get to worship with us. They get to do some of the fun, silly stuff. But then they'll kind of go to their own area, and they aren't so much going to move around. They will be stationary in a place or 2, depending on the numbers, and then they will be doing all of their things in there. It'll be the same Bible story. It'll be similar in the fact that it's very hands-on and fun, but it's just a little bit different. So the preschool directors will be really hands-on in deciding which activities will be done, who will lead those activities, all of those sorts of things. So if you're the director, you're going to have a lot more prep time and involvement in really deciding what goes on. If you're interested in just simply helping with the preschool part, I can put you on a crew for the preschoolers as a crew leader, or I can tell the directors that, hey, they're really interested in doing the craft every night for the preschoolers, or doing the Bible storytelling every night, or doing the physical activity every night for the preschoolers. So there are lots of different ways we can plug you in to helping with preschool, but I definitely need some support and help with actually directing and making that preschool time happen. Now, I do need some other volunteers that don't necessarily do a lot during VBS, but have a lot of upfront prep. And that's specifically decorations. I have 2 volunteers that have said they would kind of lead that charge, but they are going to need some help. And we want to turn that church into an African safari, complete with animals, African huts. We just don't even want church to look like church when it comes to VBS. We want them to walk into a whole different world. And so decorations are a huge part of that, and it's going to be a lot of work. So if you have any interest in helping with the decoration part, we need you. Last but not least, our registration helpers. We have an online registration, and we hope that a lot of people use that. But when people are coming in, especially that first night, parents are bringing their student in, really making sure, do we have a correct phone number for them? Do we have where are they going? Parents signing them in, who's picking them up? All of those things. And I don't have all those details hammered out yet, but I will need lots of help in welcoming and making sure that kids feel safe and that parents feel safe leaving their kids there, especially if we have any visitors coming. So that would be an area where you'd help a lot at the very start of VBS every night, but then wouldn't have as much to do. Maybe even if you were, helped with registration at the beginning and then had your hands in some other way of helping during VBS. That could be awesome too. All right, so lots of awesome ways to get your talents involved at VBS. And remember, VBS isn't just something we do to do. We are impacting our kids, and we are giving them a fun, safe environment for them to learn about Jesus and just grow their love for him in their hearts. And so I hope that you'll join me in that. I hope that you find value in that, and that you will figure out, even if I haven't mentioned it, figure out a way that your talents can be part of this valuable effort. All right, let me know if you need anything. Bye.